Alright folks, it is Saturday the 22nd of May. It's late in the afternoon. The time now is, let's have a quick look, time now is 20 to 3. So I'm starting much later. This hike is substantially shorter. The whole thing is only 11 kilometers around. So my plan today is to basically, 20 to 3, I've got about an hour and a half before I want to find somewhere to camp for the night. So I'm just going to go for a leisurely stroll through here, and when we get to somewhere that I think would be a good camping spot, that's where we're going to camp. So this particular hike is not about covering massive distance like the last one was. This one is about just going for a hike, finding a good spot to camp and setting up for the night. So let's see how we go. Basic stats for today, usual stats, is I actually weigh only 109.5 kilos, so I've dropped about 3 kilos since the last time I've been trying to do some swimming and getting the old body weight under control, which is always a good thing. And the pack, I think, is about 17 kilos. I've gone with hammock only this time, again, but I've also brought the inflatable mattress, because as I mentioned on the last hike, I was having a little bit of an uncomfortable sleep, so I'm just going to see how I go tonight. The other thought I had was whether or not when I set up the hammock, I will set up with a setting the head much higher than the feet when I set up the hammock. But yes, because last time I was getting that, I was sort of sliding down into it, which was being a bit of a punish, and it was hurting that. I'm just really uncomfortable with that right foot. So yes, that's the game plan. I've actually ordered a mock Drama 5.0 XL, the new big hammock from Amok Equipment, and that has arrived in Melbourne. It didn't arrive in time for me to bring it on this trip, so it's not just an overnighter, and I'm actually really pleased I chose this one because I'd actually planned to do a hike over at Dandenong State Forest, and I was a bit like, oh yeah, this looks really good, and had it all planned. And then last night, as I was just doing my final preparation, I realized that there's no camping there. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me. So I had to do all this changing last night, find a new route, double check that everything was all good for it. And so yes, this was a less than 5 hours worth of prep time to do this hike, but I'm actually really pleased at how this is turning out. This is actually the Foresters and McLaughlin Lookouts loop. So the loop is normally a clockwise loop, and there are two lookouts, obviously the Foresters and the McLaughlin Lookouts. But rather than do it clockwise, I'm going to actually do it anti-clockwise because, as I said, because it's later in the day, I didn't want to start the hike and just do all uphill trekking, and then, really, I need to find a campsite in the next hour. So if I go in anti-clockwise, this is all flat along the river, so the river is sort of just down here, and there's probably more chance of me finding a campsite or somewhere I can set up the hammock and stuff along this route, as opposed to going up to the lookout, because, well, that's going to be uphill. So that's the game plan. I didn't do the normal thing at the start of the trailhead, because I pulled in and the car park was almost full. It was crazy. So obviously a lot of people come up here for day hikes. I don't know if there'll be people going overnight, but I'd say there was, I don't know, maybe 20 cars in the car park. So, you got to start the slide, there we go. So yes, 20 cars in the car park. I was like, holy mackerel. And I was a bit self-conscious, I'll be honest. And I also wanted to just get myself going. I feel like I've left it really late today to get going. As you can see, the shadows are quite long. The sun I can still just see up here, but it won't be much longer and it will be behind the ridge line. And I'm in the old t-shirt. Yes, merino wool t-shirt, but I don't want it to get too chilly. And I reckon once the sun gets down behind that ridge line, the temperature in this valley is going to drop. So, game plan, find somewhere to camp, and then we'll finish off most of the trekking tomorrow. Get up, have brekkie, have a coffee, and then we can smash out the last 10 Ks. Might only take, I have to look back at it, but I'm pretty sure it's only like 3 hours for the whole thing. So yeah, we're not pressed for time by any stretch of the imagination. It is very, very green and lush in here. It's crazy. When I was looking for a place to hike, I'm not a big fan of Lerdo Gorge because it's so, I thought I saw an animal. I don't know, is it bad that I'm Australian? I'm saying I'm not a big fan of eucalyptus trees, but I suppose when you grow up here, you're just like, yeah, something different would be good. It reminds me of everything being dry, so this is what I enjoy. Green, lush, stick, and plenty of water. Love the greenery. So I've actually had quite a few of these little markers here. As you can see, there it goes across the road here, and this is going across a spin down that way, a little fire track or a road. I'm not sure what the road's called, but steps. Yes, we've had all these. I don't want to call them blazes. I don't know. Are they classified blazes? I'm not sure, but the track has been really well marked. I thought that was a snake for a quick second. I'm not thinking I'm going to get any snakes. The temperature's pretty cool. I think it was only 13 degrees when I left home, and I would suggest it's probably that cool here at least, if not cooler. So yes, what am I? I'm only about 2 Ks in, and I'm only just starting to work up a bit of a very light sweat now. I think I didn't have all my straps done properly on the last couple of hikes. I've always had this one done up really tight, and then these ones down lower were actually a bit looser, and I think that's what's causing my pack to hang back. So what I've done is I've tightened it up, which has then also allowed me to tighten up the waist straps substantially, and it feels like it's taking the weight off my neck and shoulders, so that's a good sign. I feel like you guys are rocking around out there a bit. I'm debating with myself how far in here I go before I set up camp. All up, I think it's only 9.7 Ks left to go. So as I said, it's only 11 all round. And I think I'm just going to get to the point where I find somewhere I can set up. Wombat poo. Maybe I am in the Wombat National Park. And there's all these bridges. I've crossed about 3 of them, and as you can see on the other side there, we've got steps. And yeah, so the whole thing, the track, is very well maintained. You got much water in the river? Just a trickle. Probably enough to fill up a water bottle though. Those stairs were actually substantially bigger than I thought when I actually started stepping up them. They were like proper big steps. Ooh. All right. It is so quiet now. I thought I had some people following behind me, but as I got out of the car, there was like another family, a dad and a couple of kids. They were very little. So I'm assuming they've just gotten out and just gone for a bit of a wander in the bush and then headed back because their voices have dropped way back now. But yes, that sun's still above the ridge line, which is good. The trees are, well, thick. Lots of trees. Oops, spikes. I'm now just conscious Have my eyes peeled for ideally a bit of a flat area, trees nicely spaced apart, and somewhere I can set up a comfortable little campsite. With all the wombat poo I'm seeing, I'm wondering if we're going to get a couple of visitors tonight. Yes, very potentially. Circle somewhere else. Shook the best when your love was home, storing up on your summer glow. You went in search of someone else, and I hear your ship is coming in. Your tears are sea for me to swim, and I hear a storm is coming in. My dear, is all we've ever been. Okay, so we've just come out across a, well, I'm going to say it's a fire track. See, fire track here, we've come out, and the path keeps going that way. However, to our right, and on the map, it says 600 meters down there, it's a dead end, and I'm hoping it's actually a campsite. So my plan is to go down here, and I'm hoping it is an empty campsite that I can use, maybe even set up a fire, because I think if there's a campfire there, well, we can put up a fire. And yes, actually, speaking of which, there's a little campfire right there. So hopefully it's empty. Fingers crossed, see what we find. Well, we have a little water crossing, which looks like it's going to be pretty easy to cross. I can probably just cross those rocks there. And it says another couple hundred meters up that path. So this looks beautiful. Oh yes. How nice is this? All right, it is all kinds of wet around this path. I was going to go left. Oh, what do we think? Is left a good choice? Let's have a look over this little wet. Banks of the puddle are pretty solid. Lots of water, as I said. All right. So it must be, I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to try and bring a four-wheel drive. I'm looking here. Tyre marks, I don't know how old they are. All right. A little bit further up here, see what we find. Well, the puddle we went through is that one just there, okay? The track, oh, where is it? Keeps going down there, but according to the map, this is the end of it. And I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot here. There's so much sitting water that makes me think there's going to be mozzies, but it's probably too cold. Oh, I'm looking through there. Do we think we could find something in through there that's a bit flat? I followed the path all the way down and it sort of just levels out and it actually joins up to another couple of roads like bike tracks or four-wheel drive tracks that are all covered in water. So I think I'm going to sneak in here and see what we can find. Let's go for a walk. See what we can find in here. Oh. As long as I can find some flat ground and a couple of trees that, oh, that's look all nice and flat. But do I have trees? I'm seeing potentials. All right, give me a couple of minutes. I think we're going to be able to make this work. I was looking at how far apart these trees are. It's all fairly low flat. It's all really green up top. This has got some potential. All right, so just over here I have found a spot that is good for the hammock, and I reckon we might even be able to have a little fire here. All these little trees are squished in next to each other, but I reckon from this tree right here to that tree right there, there's a tree just here that's kind of close, but I don't think it's going to cause any issues. And the foliage is all nice and low, so excellent. Let's get our hammock set up. All right, 4:30, hammock is set up. I haven't put up the tarp tonight. There's supposed to be 0 chance of rain, and so I am going to go fingers crossed, no rain. But what I do want to think about now is, just make sure these are all bug things that are all closed up, is I want to see whether I can get a fire going. Everything is wet. It looks really, really wet. So I don't have any concerns about starting a bushfire because, well, it's the start of autumn, no, mid-autumn. Everything's damp. Everything's very green. I don't think there'll be any problems with that. The problem will be finding something that we can actually burn to start a fire. So that's what we can find. Well, it's taken a little bit to get it going. I'm going through a lot of dry ferns, a bit of ash, to keep it going. But as long as I keep stoking it with some stuff, we are pretty good. I saw this thing here and I was trying to break a stick on this log here, and I went to put my hand on here thinking, oh yeah, this will be a solid log. Watch this. It is, the moss is so thick. It's unbelievable. Look at this. It's like carpet. Alright, today we are having Uncle Ben's special fried rice. Now it says on here that we are only putting in 30 mils of water. Now I've got probably close to 100. Now anyone that came along for our last little trip with Alexis, I put too much water in my last one too, but I just feel like 30 mils is not very much. So, oh, it does look very moist. Ooh, smells alright. Put all the contents in here. Came out pretty easy. Try not to get any on the ground because we do not want to encourage evening visitors. Get over there with my rubbish, with my hat. And then, see, it's quite chunky still, but I was surprised at how moist it was when it came out of the packet. to stir through. Alright, hopefully this comes good in a minute. It's interesting with the fire, basically all the sticks have burnt out to a certain spot and then just stopped. I've just spent a minute pushing them all in, but see, it's like that. They just burnt out to a certain spot and then they're like, yep, that's, the fire's gone. That's too far, it's too wet. So I've had to push them all in a bit to try and get the fire going because it was burning right down. But I think that's probably enough for now. I'm just going to let that burn right down to the end, and that should pretty well do us for the night, I think. Sit down here and have my rice. Nice, bit of relaxing. It is 20 to 6. The sun is well and truly going down now. Once the lights are off, is it 20 to 6? Yep, 20 to 6. Once, as I was saying, as this light's off and my headlamp's off, it is pretty well dark. The sky, sun has set. You can still see blue sky out over this way. Well, you can see light, you can see the sky. But the campfire's going here just nicely. All my previous hikes I've been having, full-on camping hiking meals. And so today I was like, oh, you know what, I'll just go to the supermarket and I'll get like a pasta dish or something like that. So I got this Uncle Ben's thing. I think it was $2. And I'm like, this tastes really good. And the other good thing is it took about I won't say 2 minutes to prepare. It took maybe 5 minutes to prepare. This may be my new go-to. That's fine. Why would I spend $16 on a hiking meal when I can spend $2 on like a rice and vegetables and all that type of stuff? That's a pretty good idea. Everything's all set up. I'm basically going to have this, sit here and relax. I think we only ended up doing a couple of kilometers. I don't think that's what I was going to tell you guys. I got myself a new Garmin Fenix 6 Pro Solar. I know it's a mouthful. There's actually a couple of models above it. There's a Garmin Fenix 6 Pro, 6X Pro Solar and normal. And there's a Sapphire above that. Only difference with the Sapphire, I think, is a Sapphire screen, so it's a bit stronger. But the 6X and the 6X Pro, the main difference is only like, I think it's 0.1 of an inch bigger on the screen, but it was like $400 more expensive, so I didn't bother. But the reason I got it is because I wanted to have maps. Because on that last hike, I got very conscious of running out of battery on my GPS phone, and then, not that I thought I was going to get lost, but being in a situation where I was like, okay, I no longer have my GPS, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to go to a map, or I'm going to have to just make sure I remember my way back. With these watches, they have the maps built into it, and I can load, and that's what I've done. I thought I heard a voice, it must be an animal. What I've done is I've actually loaded this route into the watch. So I've been using the watch to do the route and also record it. So I'm hoping when I get back home tomorrow, I can then upload the route onto all trails and it counts as doing the hike. So yes. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's dropping. Why is it whenever I do that on camera it doesn't work, but when I turn the camera off, it's blowing out fog? I'd been thinking about either getting this watch, the Garmin, or another G-Shock, because the G-Shocks, I love them. They're just built like a tank. But the same version in a G-Shock actually didn't have anywhere near the functionality in it. Didn't have any maps, nothing like that. It's very much a survival watch where you can start tracking at the start of a hike, do your hike, and then if you get lost, you can hit a button and say, right, backtrack, and it will then show you the way back. But it only zooms in on a little watch face like that to 2 kilometers. So that much is 2 kilometers, which is like, how do I know, am I turning left in this trail? Am I going up here? Am I going this way? It wasn't very good. Whereas the Garmin can go all the way down to like 50 meters on the watch, and it's got like a really good map. So that's why I went that way. So I wanted to give a shout out to all the new subscribers. I've noticed we've had a few numbers jump up there in the number of subscribers we've got. I saw some a bloke from Alaska, a bloke from Norwegian bloke. He said he's been following my vlogs since I was doing the PI vlogs. That was 700 videos ago. So the fact that somebody's still following me after that long, mate, full props to you. Massive shout out. And to anyone else that's just joining us, welcome. I try and do these hiking videos. I want to try and do them maybe 1 or 2 a month. It's a matter of getting the time and also finding a place that I like to go hiking. The last one was good insofar as it was a long hike. I'm keen to do that big 5-day hike. The set to hike, what Haley do? The Great Ocean Trail, I think it is. Great Ocean Road. I'm tempted to do that on my next big leave. I'm not sure. But anyway, I want to welcome all you guys. I'm going to sit down and eat this, and then I'm going to watch the fire for a little bit, and then I'm probably going to go jump into bed and go to sleep. And fingers crossed, it's a comfortable night's sleep, and I wake up refreshed and happy tomorrow, and I haven't got sore feet. So we'll see how we go. I'll see you guys in the morning.
Well, good morning, folks. It is just before 8 o'clock. I think it's a nice balmy 1 degree. It wasn't a bad night. I got into the hammock and then I sort of was listening to an audio book, and I think I must have actually fallen asleep because I fell asleep. Well, did I fall asleep or not? I think I must have, because I sort of missed part of the story, and then I sort of was like, oh, I'm sort of listening to this but not listening to it, so I'll turn it off. And then just the motion of like getting my phone out, turning it off, and then putting it away woke me up again, because then I was sort of laying there. I was like, I'm awake now. And then like 20 minutes went past and I was still awake, so I got my phone back out again and played some Sudoku. Then I played some cube game, which is a bit like the old Tetris. I think I must have fallen asleep maybe close to midnight. I don't know, 11:30, I think, maybe. Thankfully I didn't have to go to the toilet throughout the night. Oh, it was so good. Woke up at 6 to go to the toilet, and yes, it was all kinds of chilly, but I slept fairly comfortably. I'm just going to put it down as fairly comfortably. It is all kinds of cold, like without the tarp over the top. As soon as I put my arms outside of the blankets or outside of the sleeping bag, you can feel the cold. Like even just doing this video now, I can feel the cold air starting to settle on my bare arms. But then having said that, I also had to take my beanie off because one stage I woke up and I was sweating. I got up and I was like, oh, my neck's all damp. I'm like, why am I so hot? So I had to unzip my vest and took my beanie off, and yes, so I think I might lay here for a few more minutes, try and enjoy the heat of the sleeping bag, and then it'll be time to get up and have some breakfast, I think. Yes, a nice balmy 0 degrees at the moment, and it got down to minus 0.1. That does not surprise me in the least.
While I've been getting breakfast ready, I have been packing away all the tent and stuff. You can see I've got the sleeping bag and stuff there. Got most of the hammock packed down, and I was just, having a little bit of a scout around, get some footage, bits and pieces, and have a look what I found right there. Okay, to try and give you guys some perspective, that is the mossy thing. So we just had our fire over there. I'm using the mossy stump there as my table. Backpack, hammock. All right, so this is give you a bit of an idea where we are. So just here. So this would be 5 or 6 big steps from the hammock. We go through here. Oh, sorry. Oh, there we go. Through here. Hello. What do we have down here? And I'm pretty sure it's in use. Wombat hole. So when you come back around this way, all this soil just here is fairly freshly disturbed. So I didn't hear anyone moving around last night, and I haven't seen any wombat poop this morning. Geez, I hope I've never stepped in it, but there we go. Wombat hole right there, just behind my table. He was probably like, hey, who's out there making all that noise? It's amazing. I cooked breakfast, and then I thought I'll just let it sit there just so the porridge can thicken up, let my coffee cool down. And because it's only 0 degrees, well, it's like, I think it's almost up to 0.8 or something now. The coffee is already lukewarm. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't boiling when I finished it. What I'm trying to say is I didn't boil the water, but now it's warm, if that. Yes, one of the other bonuses of having a hammock is you always have a seat. So, yes. My porridge is warm. Very cinnamony. Is that a word? Cinnamony? I guess so. Whoa. So my plan today must be, what time is it? 12 past 9, just after 9. Finish breakfast, finish packing up the camp, and then we'll go do the last 9 Ks of this hike. I'm in no rush, really. But I say it was just after 9. If we're gone by 10, that's fine. Holy mackerel. I can feel my bottom getting cold from the air underneath the hammock because the underquilt is off. That just goes to show you how much difference the underquilt makes. Last night I was easily warm enough. As I said, I woke up one stage just sweating a bit. I had to take my beanie off because my head was getting too hot inside the sleeping bag with the underquilt on. But yes, now that it's off, I was like, oh geez, why is my bottom so cold? Ooh. Anyway, so yes, I reckon leave here by 10, and then I reckon we'll have this hike all done by 12. All right, well, the camp is all set up. You guys are here, I guess. I've got the campfire all packed away. I think I did a pretty good job. The whole, leave no trace. Check it out. There we go. Campfire Gonski. She was just there. So obviously all the ash just there. Yeah, obviously all the ash was absolutely stone cold this morning, like everything else in this area, and everything's just soaking wet. I'm not sure if I told you guys last night this morning? No, last night before I went to bed, I went and got a whole pot of water and put water all over it, and it steamed for a while, and then it was out. So I've got no qualms with that. We are now going to get on the road. What time is it? 9:59. Couldn't be much better than that. All right, let's put some kilometers behind us. All right, back to the creek. I'm just going to quickly stop here just to wash out my pot and knives and forks and stuff from last night. But this morning, when I was just wandering around having a bit of an explore, let me just give you a reference point. So that's the path we came across this afternoon. We crossed there, went around here, up there, and basically maybe 20 meters around the corner there is where we went off to the left, and I camped in there. All right, and as I said, the road keeps going around to the right, and then we got to that big T section at the other end, sort of over that way, which was all sort of muddy four-wheel drive tracks. Anyway, this morning I came back down to the creek just to have a bit of a poke around, have a bit of a look, and what's that? Little pathway that goes along right next to the creek. Well, it actually goes through to a little campsite, and it's, how do I explain this? Back over there where it went to the T section, there were muddy four-wheel drive tracks. If you turn right there, it leads around to a little campground where that little walkway just there leads to. There's a proper set up campfire. Somebody set up like a little stool bench thing. There's no trees for hammocks, but you can probably set up a tent there. But it's obviously somebody's little camping spot, and I've probably now just told the world about it. So whoever owns it, sorry. But if you come down to this little section and it's nice and quiet, you might be able to sneak in there, have a little camp. So, all right, I've got to wash this stuff up. I'll tell you what, this water is all kinds of cold. Holy mackerel. I checked the water this morning, and I've only got about a litre left. And I was contemplating, do I fill up here? But considering there's only 9 k's left, probably only 2 or 3 hours of walking, and how cold it is, I had 3 litres yesterday, and I ended up only using 2 litres all day yesterday, or yesterday afternoon, dinner and breakfast this morning, and I don't think I'm going to actually need it. So I haven't bothered to top up the water. If I need to, I don't think the river's too far away, but yes. Now it's time to get the pack on. I'm going to have to take this off because I'll start sweating, but I think I'm going to leave this long sleeve top on because, well, it's cold. Another reason I really like this jacket, or vest, sorry, is because obviously it's down, it comes with a little bag, and you go, this big jacket, this little bag, I can already feel the temperature. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so what I was going to get at is this jacket folds down so much that I can stuff it in the bag, and then whenever I need it, I pull it out, and it's very much an easy jacket to carry, vest to carry around with you for when it gets really cold. Admittedly, like last time though, on the last hike, if you don't let it puff up, or if you are leaning on something, like last time I got in the hammock, and then the back of it was all flat, but then the chest side, or the front, was all puffed up, so it was okay. But yes, you got to be conscious of that. But now that I'm on camera trying to put this back in the bag, I can't get it back in the way I normally do, and that's it. There we go. How's that? Bam. One small vest. I think it was like 20 bucks from Aldi. Best investment ever. Well, I've got to say, I've been mighty impressed with this track. I would almost say it is the ideal track to bring kids on. So yesterday we did about 3 k's to get to that campsite. It's lush, it's green, it's basically flat, which was excellent. So kids would be able to do it. I'm just thinking I could probably almost bring Elijah to that one. Even having the water close by was probably okay, because the river, spiderweb, the river was actually really, really shallow at that crossing point there. So he could sort of be involved. That was probably my biggest concern, was bringing Elijah along for hikes, is the whole idea of having him anywhere near where there might be some water. Oh, around the log. Oh, here we go. Looks like I got a bit of Oh, a couple of logs have fallen down, bit of four-wheel driving. Stand by. As we were. The second log actually took a little bit of coordination to get over, because I think people have started to go around the bottom of it, or sorry, the top of it, whereas I had to go over. That's right. But yes, as I was saying, that's one of my biggest concerns, is taking Elijah along on one of these hikes, is having him anywhere near where there might be water that he could, I mean, I watch him like a hawk anyway, in a non, what do they call it, helicopter parent kind of way, but obviously you always want them to be safe. So I'm waiting for this to turn to Jurassic Park. I'm waiting for a velociraptor to come through, take me out. Look how green it is, it's crazy. This is awesome. This is exactly the kind of hiking I like. This might be my new favourite place. I'm wondering how many other tracks are in this area. But yeah, can you tell I'm pretty stoked? Let's just pause and take in the serenity here. The sun's just starting to creep up. There, a little bit higher, it'll be over the tree line. The river's down there. It is thick bush. Even down there, holy mackerel. All right, let's keep trucking. Oh, almost stepped in some. A little bit of wombat poo. That's the first real ones I've sort of seen right in the middle of the path. I don't know if wombats, I'm assuming wombats are nocturnal. Or is those, well, I guess. But you do see them during the day, like sometimes when you're driving. So I don't know what the story is there with that. Oh, look at this. This is straight out of Lord of the Rings or something. Look at the size of these ferns. This is crazy. So as I mentioned yesterday, I got my new Garmin Phoenix 6 Pro Solar. Could they put any more words in the title? And I paused the recording yesterday afternoon when I got into the campsite, and then yep, this morning I was able to hit resume and it just started off again. I'm very impressed with it so far. Excuse me. It shows you literally a map of where you're going, and then if you go off track, so yesterday, because where I was camping wasn't part, or down that sort of right hand track off the main track, wasn't part of the track I was, following, it told me after about 10 seconds, you are off track. So you don't even have to watch it. If you go off track, it'll vibrate and tell you that you're off track, and to turn around and get back on, and it shows you the map. Ooh, gee whiz. I'm just getting spoiled here on this. This is awesome. So yeah, really pleased with it. The battery lasts, I think it's 9 days without a charge, and it's got solar on it, which helps to increase the battery life, but it doesn't make it perpetual. Is that the right word, I think? So with my G-Shock, I think it's like 4 hours of sunlight, of direct sunlight, will charge the battery to max again. So basically the thing never runs out of battery. And the what was it? The other G-Shock that I was thinking about getting, it had the same type of thing, but it, obviously with GPS, it chews up a lot more battery than what the solar can provide. But the G-Shock, I think it was about 1,500 bucks. Didn't do as much as I wanted it to, but having said that, it still would last a lot longer. I watched a review on YouTube. They put all three of them together. All right, guys, where are we going? Under? Oh no, we're going to go around. Oh, around the big spike. Oh no, maybe I'm not. Am I going to fit? Backpack. Didn't take that into account. Oh, holy mackerel. Oh, here we go. Gee whiz, Ben, you got to keep losing weight. Whew. I told you I was down to 109 kilos. I've got to say, I mean, some people might be going, 109 kilos, mate, that's a bit heavy. and it is a bit heavy. I turned 46, so yeah, I figure I don't want to be up over 100 kilos when I'm walking around at 50. What's 109 kilos in pounds would be like, hey, editing Ben, put up what 109 kilos in pounds is. I'm going to take a stab. 100 would be 225, another 10%. So 220, is that right? 220, it's another 20, maybe 240 pound. So yeah, but oh, I forgot what I was saying. But I'm enjoying this walk. Ooh. Oh, the other thing I was going to mention was I didn't bring my walking poles this time. I'm walking through all the cobwebs because, as I mentioned at the end of my last video, I actually snapped the tip off one of the hiking poles, like the little carbon tips. So I've got to look at getting that replaced. I don't think it's not expensive, it's like $10, but I need to make sure I order the right ones that fit my poles, or at least that's my impression. I don't know if they vary or whether they're all the same sort of size. More wombat poo. But yes, this track, I think it's only maybe a 250, 300 meter climb. And yes, Jace, I checked this one properly. I was watching the last video with a mate, and it's amazing how much exhaustion. What happened there? The ground's all torn up. Must be a wombat's come through there. Oh, there we go. Hello. Bit slippery. It's amazing how much exhaustion affects your brain. Like last time I was trying to count, I was counting on my fingers and I couldn't even count on my fingers. And it highlighted how much. Get a load of this. Just came out through here to this open section. This is crazy. Yep. Definitely my new favorite hiking area. See, as I was saying, is I couldn't even count, and it shows you how much exhaustion actually affects how well you can think. Like, it affects all your cognitive abilities. So, you know, I was trying to work out times, I was trying to work out heights and altitudes, and I was struggling. Now, admittedly, on the last one, I was a bit of a peck ahead and I didn't even read the original map properly, or the original trail thing properly, and I didn't notice it was a 1 kilometer climb. I've got to stop. I'm just going to show you. Oh, there we go. That would have been ugly. Maybe I should have brought those walling poles. Oh, I wonder what all that frothy stuff there is in the water. The water's flowing that way. Oh yeah, that's right, we're going upstream. Well, we're not going to have any shortage of water. Yes, so I didn't check the original. This is a bit slippery. The original altitude, whereas on this one, as I said, it's only 200 or 300 meters, and that's going all the way up to the lookouts. All right, time for me to do some concentrating and not slip over in the mud. Okay, the penny has just dropped. This actually says Great Dividing Trail. I am wondering whether or not the Great Dividing Trail is a massive trail compared to this one. Lerdergerg Heritage River Walk. The reason I point this out is because that's the way we just came. There is actually a little path going up there. So that's where we came. Path going back up that way for a different walk, spin around, woo! And this is where we're going. Oh, rescue chopper's out already. Oh geez, that's never a good sign. All right, so we've come up out of the valley there, down near the river. And just to further highlight how good this track is, I mean, besides the fact that we're now walking up fire trails, which isn't really my own, honestly, isn't my favorite. But even when we hiked up out of the valley, there were steps on the really steep bits with handrail. So it's actually, as I said, really well, I don't want to say maintained, well obviously it is, even though there's some logs across it and stuff, but it's been built well. We definitely climbing in altitude now. Whew. So obviously all the flora, the plants have changed. We've gone through to lots of eucalyptus trees. Still haven't seen any wildlife though. See if we can spot a kangaroo or something. Okay, that was steepish, fairly steep. This, quite steep. That, I can't even give you, it's more of an angle like that. How can I make it look how high it is? That up there, oh my goodness, that would have to be 30 meters up. 40 meters up. Oh man, here we got some climbing to do. All right, so we've just come up a whole lot of road and there's actually a track off that way, and that's actually the way we're going to go on the way back. Straight ahead we've got, so that track off to the left is Easter Monday track, but we're going to go down here a little bit further and then we're going to stab off to the right and go up to one of the lookouts, go have a look at that. Then we'll come back to this point here, and by that stage it'll be a right hand turn and we'll go along Easter Monday track, and I believe that one heads us back to the next lookout and then back down to the car. Distance wise we've got about 4.6 k's to go, so I'm starting to second guess whether I should have topped up with water. I haven't drunk a lot of water, but I'm also 2 hours in, I've still got 4 k's to go. Let's see how we go. All right, you get to here and you've got left, straight ahead, right. We're going right up the hill. I think I can hear a car coming. It's only just a bit further up here, then we can get onto the lookout. Whew, a bit more road tracking, that's okay. All right, McLaughlin's lookout. Elevation, oh, I saw it there. Elevation, 825 meters. Meters, I'm assuming meters, yep. Let's go check it out. That's the hill we just climbed up. Let's go see what we found. All right, 15 meters, 20 meters up the road, there's 2 fire pits on the ground. Well, they've had fires, but there is a little path through here, and the map does say there's a bit more track down this way. Hopefully there's something worth having a look at, or at least makes that big uphill stretch worthwhile. All right, we are literally coming to the end of where the map says is the end of the trail. I feel like I'm going a little bit, spiderweb, a bit four-wheel driving here. I'm not even sure where to go. Just randomly through the trees. If that was it, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, wait a second, is this a bit more path? Is this a bit of a track through here? I don't think so. Oh, seriously, if this is another one of those lookouts where it's just basically the top of a hill but there is no actual view, that is 100% what it's feeling like. I feel like out there'd be some views, but I've got no idea how to get out there besides just going four-wheel driving through there. That, I'm not gonna lie, is a little bit disappointing. According to the GPS, we are well and truly off the end of the track. We got to the end and that was it. Is it funny that on the actual map it shows this lookout as a camera? Like, oh, there'll be some fantastic photographic shots available at this location. No, what an absolute waste of a hike up the hill that was. McLaughlin's lookout? No. McLaughlin's Point? McLaughlin's Hill? Maybe. But definitely not McLaughlin's lookout, because you can't see squat. All right, so as you can see there, can you see it? Blackwood, oh, that's, we're right on top of the camera. And the GPS is saying, hey, you're 20 meters off the track. That wasn't part of the course. Go back 20 meters. And when I spin around this way, it's going to be in the dark. Can I get that way? If I head back down towards the road, we're back on track. All right, let's go. All right, back to Easter Monday track. Let's veer off to the right here. We're still on fire trails, but at least we're off the main road of that one. Up here for a little bit, and then we're going to veer around to the left. GPS is saying 2.67 kilometers till the end. We have one more lookout to go. Lookout. We've got one more point labelled as a lookout to go. Let's see whether or not that one actually has any views, or it's just a point on a map. Welcome to Fowler's Lookout. Just want you to all enjoy the view here. It's amazing. I'm really glad I climbed all the way up here. It's I love coming up to these lookouts and being able to see off into the distance and really enjoy the views that Australia has to offer in the wild bushland here. It really does make the sweat and toil and the effort of really climbing all the way up here just that much worth it when you can just look out and just really enjoy the view. That's it. I'm making a decree. Decree? Is that the right word? I don't know. I'm making an executive decision. You cannot put the word lookout in the title anymore of anything on a map unless there is actually a lookout. Okay? Where have we got? 2 kilometers back down to the car now along this trail. I'm not going to lie. Why do I say that? It's not like I'm going to lie. I'm telling you it's a lie. I would suggest that pretty well once we turned up from the valley, from that point on, this walk has been a bit meh. All the fern stuff down along the water was great, but everything up here has just been fire trails and walking up and down to lookouts that aren't really lookouts. So a little bit disappointing, but you know what? That's all part of it. You come out here, come for a hike, and now I know. So would I come back to this area? I think that's definite. What I'll do is I'll sit down and have a really good look at the map and have a look to see where all the lower laying tracks are, and I might plot myself a nice little track through down along the river, see what else. This is really bumpy, holy mackerel. These are all four-wheel drive tracks, but I tell you what, it's not just, oh, come up here with whatever four-wheel drive you like. You'd need a proper, like the right four-wheel drive, because if you just came up here with a normal four-wheel drive, this one's not too bad. Berkey, what do you reckon? Oh, I can hear a motorbike. Maybe coming this way. I went up the one that I pointed out to you guys before that was like super steep. I got a bit further up on that one, and it got to the point where I don't even think you could go up it in a four-wheel drive. There were such massive deep crevices. It was crazy. Oh yep, here comes a motorbike. Maybe I can get him on video. Here we go. Here we go. Geez, I tell you what, you want to be coming down here a bit slowly too. What I was saying was, yeah, there was actual hikes. Oh, this guy's going well. Let me get off the road. Yeah, I had to jump off the road for that. That was like an old, almost like an army four-wheel drive, that one. See, this road's not so bad. I've just been going on saying, oh, look how bad these roads are, and then that thing drives past. But yes, well, I stand corrected. Maybe these roads aren't so bad. This one here, in hindsight, yeah, probably not so bad. The other one, I reckon, there were, where you would consider the tyre treads, like the tyre marks, tyre tracks in the road, they were almost, I want to say 2 foot deep, 3 foot deep in a couple of places. So much so that it was that chopped up that you'd be like, I don't think you'd be able to get a four-wheel drive in here to have one tyre on one thing and another tyre on another spot without the axle bottoming out. Like, unless you had a super jacked up 4-wheel drive. But yeah, anyway, we're just going to keep cruising down the Monday Easter track back down to the car. And I'm not going to lie, I'm already starting to think about a little quarter pounder that's got my name on it. Oh yeah. I am 1.26 kilometers from the end, and we are just basically, oh, did you guys see me walk through that spider web? Which is surprising considering the 4-wheel drive just came through here. We are literally just going down this big track, which is very steep here. I'll spin you around. Steep and rocky. So when I was going to start the hike yesterday, I was going to come this way originally, and I was thinking, oh well, I've only got an hour and a half, how far can I get in an hour and a half? And let's be honest, if it was this steep uphill, I probably would have only gotten a kilometre or two to the lookout, and that's what I would have been going, oh yep, I'll go up there to the lookout, and then I'll find somewhere, because it's a full-on lookout, there should be, you know, reasonable places around there to camp. But if I had have done that, then, oh, that gives you a bit more of an idea of how steep it is. If I had done that, then I would have been hiking all the way up this in the afternoon, would have got up there to the peak, which I'll be honest, it's been quite dense bush. There's plenty of trees around, so I could have done, you know, set up the hammock between a couple of trees, but it would have been a bit ordinary, I'll give you the tip. So if you do this hike and you intend to camp overnight, you want to split it into a 2-day hike, definitely do it in reverse. Go what is it, along the river first. So I'm trying to think which way that was. Anti-clockwise? No, maybe clockwise? Oh, I can't remember now. Wait a second. Along the river, so anti-clockwise. But I would almost go so far as to say that you could hike the whole bottom stretch is just trying to think at what point did I turn up. So it was about 3.5 k's to where I camped, then maybe another kilometre or two down to the bit where I turned up to come out of the valley, and that's about as far as I would go. I would be tempted to hike or camp anywhere along there. I'll have to get back and look at the maps. I'm just looking here, I've got a giant puddle to get across now. There's been all these massive puddles along this track. Whoop, around a tree. There we go. Stay up on the edge, stay up on the edge. Don't fall in. Is that big enough? Whoop. Oh, now we have to go down the middle. Don't be sloppy, don't be sloppy. I'm walking down the middle. The tyre tracks are on either side, but it's all muddy. I'm hoping it just doesn't go and I slide into the water. All good. What do we got? 1.12 k's. Yes. So yeah, I probably would just hike all along that bottom stretch. I'm hoping there's some more trails along there to see if there's more trails just in the general area, but down at that lower level, because I think that would be a much more enjoyable hike. Well, for me anyway. As much as this is nice, and it's you know, like a lot of eucalyptus trees, and I've been in the shade pretty well the whole time, which is good. So that's all nice, but I love those ferns. I love the greenery down low. So yes, if you guys are still watching, I don't know how long this video is because I haven't edited it yet. I'm actually hoping to use some different software this time and edit the whole thing and export the whole thing in 4K using a slightly different setup. So hopefully the quality improved this time. Fingers crossed. So yes, but if you are still watching, subscribe, like, leave a comment down below. If you've got any suggestions of trails I could go on, definitely let me know down below. If you've been on a trail, and especially if it's you know, ferns, really green, that type of thing, let me know and I'll check it out. And if I go and do it, I'll give you a shout out. So yes, whew, 1 kilometre to go. All right, we are back 150 metres. It's interesting, it wants me to go back down the path there to the end of the car park, or to one of the car parks, but it's a bit strange. If you look here, so that is the road you come in on, okay? This is a big car park. Go out the entrance at the other end of the car park. This, where are you? This is where the trail ends, okay? So, yeah. Well, that's it for another hike. I don't know what it says it was. I don't know, 12 k's, something like that. 2 nights, or 1 night, 2 days. Yeah, overall pretty good. Enjoyed myself. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, do all the usual bits.